Hey everyone, in this video I will be talking about comments, line breaks, and horizontal rules. Comments are basically pieces of code that are ignored by the browser. They can be used to organize your code for either yourself or for some other developer that wants to read your code. So comments have a very specific syntax, right? We write comments in HTML by using our angle brackets and exclamation mark. So to write a comment, we first write angle bracket, the less than sign, exclamation mark, and then two dashes. You can call these hyphens or minuses. And then this opens your comment, and to close it, you type two dashes again, and then the greater than sign or the angle bracket, right? So this is our comment. This is what we call a comment in HTML. Whatever we type in between, let's type something in between, right? So this is a comment. Now this piece of code, even though it's in our code, the browser will ignore it. All right, so the browser will just say that this is a comment, so I'm not going to print this out in the page. So if we refresh our page, as we can see that we don't see our comment over here, right? So for example, let's type something underneath this. This is under the comment, and let's save this. If we refresh our browser, look, this is under the comment and the paragraph is above the comment. This is above the comment. So in between this, as we can see that there is no comment printed out, right? So that means that the browser is ignoring it. So the comments can be used to organize our code, or they can also be used to exclude some piece of code that you currently don't want to use in your page. First, let's organize our page, right? This looks really messy right now. We don't need this. Okay, so now let's add comments to organize our page. First, let's start off with head tag. So this is our head tag. We can just type in a comment. This is our head tag. And let's close the comment. So this is our head tag. Now, when we're reading our code, we're gonna know that this is our head tag, right? And inside our head tag, we have our title tag. So let's add a comment for that. First, we open the comment, then we type in this is our title, and then we close it. Now, our head is basically complete. So this tells us that this is our head tag, and this comment tells us that this is our title tag. Now let's move down to body. We'll add a comment for body. This is our body. And by the way, if you don't know where your exclamation mark is, you press shift and then 1, right? So if you look at your keyboard and one key, there should be an exclamation mark on top of 1. You type in that exclamation mark by pressing shift and then 1, all right? And minus is on the right side of 0 on your keyboard. All right, now let's add some comments for our headings. So H1 is our largest heading. Then we have our H2, which is smaller than H1. H2 smaller than H1. Then we have our H3. H3 smaller than H2. And then we can just copy paste this. So H4 is smaller than H3. H5 is smaller than H4. And H6 is smallest, right? So these are our comments, and let's add a comment for paragraph tag. Paragraph. Okay, so we have written a lot of comments in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 comments. So I've saved this, Control S to save, and if you refresh our browser, nothing changed over here, right? We can't see the comments. So basically the comments are only for yourself or for some other person that's reading your code. They're used to organize your code and explain your code more. So before even reading this head tag, we can know that underneath this is our head tag, and underneath this is our title tag. Similarly, underneath this is our body. So this is the main purpose of comments. Another purpose of comments is, let's just say that for now I don't need this paragraph for testing purposes, right? So I don't need to use this paragraph right now, so I can just remove this, right, and save it. And if we refresh our browser, it gets removed over here. But what if I don't want to remove this, but I don't want it to show in our browser either? For that, we will convert this paragraph into a comment. To do that, we just open our comment like this, right? Our comment opened right over here, and this closes the comment. So underneath our paragraph, we're gonna close it. So now if you look at it, our comment is opened, and after our comment open, we have our paragraph tag, and then our comment closes. So basically, our paragraph tag is inside a comment. If we refresh our browser, look, the paragraph tag still doesn't appear. If we remove our comment from over here, we should see that the paragraph will appear again. Control S to save, and then refresh our browser. And right over here, the comment is, we can look at the comment again, right? So that is why you can use comments. Now let's move to line breaks. HTML doesn't really like line breaks. So what do I mean by line break? Okay, so let's say that after this, I want this text to go on a different line. So we can just press enter over here and it will go on a different line. But if we save this and refresh our browser, HTML is just going to ignore that, right? Or our browser is just going to ignore that. So browsers don't really like extra line breaks or spaces. I can put as many line in between this and save it, but even after refreshing, it won't go on to the next line. For this purpose, we use a line break tag. So it does exactly what it sounds like. It breaks a line. So for a line break tag, it's called BR tag. And unlike H tags and P tags and our body tags, these have ending tags, right? Line breaks don't have an ending tag. They're called empty tags. What that means is there's only an opening tag and there's no ending tag. To explain that more, let's just type in a line break. BR is used for line break, so this is our line break tag. There's no need to close it. Now if we save our document and refresh our browser, right over here after the but, we put a line break tag, and after that there's our text. So after this, the line break into the next line. Over here, if we can see that after this, the line breaked and it went to the next line. So we can add as many line breaks as we want. 2 line breaks, and if you refresh our browser, there's another line break. And let's say that I want another line break before lazy. So we can just type in a line break in between this. Right? So if I save this and refresh the browser, right over here, the lazy dog went to another line because we added a line break after the, right? So we added 2 line breaks after but, so it went to first line break from over here to here, and then from over here to here. And then we added line break after the word, and so it went from over here to over here. So that is what line breaks are used for. You can even add line breaks in between headings, right? So we have our subheading, and let's just add a line break in between our sub and heading. BR is used for line break. Let's just add spaces so we can see this. And let's refresh our browser. And look, sub and heading are on different lines now. Now let's add another comment so we can just type in, we can explain what line break is, right? So line break BR. And then let's close the comment, and then let's just type in our line break tag. You can even call this break tag. Alright, so that's line break. Now let's talk about horizontal rules. Horizontal rules basically divide sections. It's basically just a horizontal line. Alright, so you might have often seen at blogging websites, there's a big line, like not a big, but there's a long line underneath the heading. So that is just a line break, a horizontal rule. Alright, so let's just add a horizontal rule underneath our heading, our H1 heading. So horizontal rules, the syntax of horizontal rules is exactly like a line break. It's just a little bit different. So in a break tag we use BR, and in horizontal rules we use HR. Alright, so let's type that HR, and just like a break tag, it doesn't need a closing tag either. So that is our horizontal rule. It opens over here, but it doesn't end anywhere. Okay, so this is called an empty tag. The empty tags are basically those tags which do not need to be closed. So if we save this and refresh our browser, as you can see that underneath our heading there's a long line. This line is called a horizontal rule. It's basically just a horizontal line. I can add as many horizontal rules as I want. So there are two horizontal rules underneath H1. If we refresh this, now we get two lines. So let's just type in a comment to explain, to give this basically just a title of horizontal rule. Horizontal rule. Also, you should put as many comments as you can in your code to explain it, because later on when you visit your code again, you might not know where you left it, or you might not understand it. So if you've added comments in it, it's going to be easier for you to understand your own code or even others' codes. So basically what we learned, for recap, what we learned is comments. They are ignored by the computer. You can add as many comments as you want. It doesn't really affect the speed of your website. And comments can be used to organize your code. They can be used to add titles or describe your code, basically make your code more understandable. And comments have this syntax, right? So angle brackets, exclamation mark, two hyphens, some text in between, then two hyphens again, and angle brackets. This is the syntax of a comment. Then we have our break tags, just like this, BR break. And over here, BR, you can add as many break tags as you want. They're just gonna break your text or whatever you have on your site into next lines. And then we have our horizontal rules, right? So horizontal rules are basically horizontal lines, just like this. We can add another horizontal rule underneath over here. So let's just say HR. And if we refresh our browser, over here we have our HR, horizontal rule. That's it for this video. And in the next video, we're going to be changing our text editor. I'm going to be switching to Sublime Text to explain the differences between just a normal notepad and the perks of a proper text editor.